Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of An Everyday Life of Aspie. If you're new, I welcome you all. I'm Aspie and I'm all about creating mental health and awareness, sharing my life stories, as well as advocating for you all to educate and teach you about autism, Asperger's and mental health, as well as raising awareness based on these two mental health conditions and much more. I'm all about inclusion as well. So basically today it's going to be just a touch on a topic that has been mentioned in one of the groups of the Autism Dialogue group that I'm in on Facebook, which the link will be in the description below. Hearsay. So I want to take the time out to thank Lauren Velos for taking her time to actually get us going on this topic number 5, which is how do we prepare ourselves as an autistic in social situations, as well as maybe for the parents or carers that has children with autism. Hearsay. So as I myself has Asperger's syndrome, as we know, basically for many of us, obviously it's really difficult to actually, you know, have that connection with the person that we're connecting with, regardless if it's basically just one-on-one engagement versus a group of people. Hearsay. And sometimes in our lives we do struggle to interact with our peers by holding a conversation or just conversation in general, along with the eye contact, which I have clearly mentioned in one of my videos, which I'll link in the eye bar above me as well as below me. I know for many of us statistics, though, however, that sometimes when it comes down to interacting with others, however, that people suspect that we should be, while engaging with them in conversation or socializing or whatever we're doing at that point of time, that we should at least make eye contact with you guys. I forever feel in my heart this is a no-no. It's a no-no boundary for us autistics. Hearsay. Don't forever force us autistics to make that eye contact when we're socializing with you, for that matter, because for this assumption alone, there can be more taunting and for us on that spectrum. Hearsay. Just remember forever not to growl at us or what have you when we're not looking at you and we're looking away, or we're looking at a particular perspective of a field of view, maybe above your forehead and whatnot, that you think that we're not fully paying attention to. Hearsay. As you talk to us, believe you me, we are absorbing all this information that you're giving us, like we're like a little computer trying to sort out, you know, the white noise and everything around us, as well as all that information that you're sharing with us, no matter what it may be. So as I said before, I made a few videos about socialization versus eye contact, which hopefully I'll list them in the description below, as well as in this video that I'm going to pass on. Yet the very big question that has been asked, though, however, from others is how do I cope and prepare myself with these everyday situations that entails me to socialize or interact with my peers. What helps me the most in answer to this is when I am with the people, basically the right people around me that builds me up, supports me in my dreams, as well as vice versa. I give you that time of day, is building that foundation of trust first and foremost, because obviously I find it really hard to trust people, especially when I am a socially awkward, shy person at first, and then once you get to know me, obviously I'll just talk like nobody's business. You know, I am now willing to open up and share my life stories as well as experiences, as you are aware, hence on this channel, as well as maybe sharing it with people in general when I'm face to face, as well as in, you know, many other people may come to me with similar situations. Also in this day, time of day, also when it comes down to me socializing with people that I trust, when I'm building that foundation, is to remain calm and positive around me. And I don't need people that will yell and scream at me whenever I'm full of, you know, under pressure or I feel I'm stressed out. Sometimes I might do the fight, flight, fright response, hearsay, if it gets too much for me, or another situation when it comes down to certain things or places that will trigger me or cause me to have an anxiety attack or what have you, or meltdown or shutdown phase, depending why I'm in that time of day, is that maybe I'll walk away from the situation and don't take offense when that does happen if I walk away, because I'm now learning trying to excuse myself from the situation. But then again, hopefully people are becoming more aware regardless where I am in. It is good to have some people that can take the time out of the day to ask me everyday questions around me, as well to see how I'm going, and if I am struggling, to make some of the sentences while I'm struggling with under that circumstance of that meltdown or what have you, so that I know that they're prepared to actually have a plan of attack for me, if it means I'll have to share with them before that time comes of the panic attack and anxiety attack, or wherever it may be, that hopefully we can work one-on-one together. Sometimes it's also good for people that I trust in my social circle, while they're calm, patient, and that while they're not yelling at me, is the right time, finding the right time to intervene. Not intervene hardcore, however, but just intervene in a gentle way and ways how to approach me in that situation that I'm facing. Also, in saying this, it's also based on observing the everyday surroundings and activities that I'm doing, as well as crucial while that time comes. We need to also identify everybody's different learning styles and coping strategies when it comes down to socializing, hearsay. So we need to be prepared for what is to come, like a plan of action, as I said before. So sometimes many of us autistics also just requires acceptance and guidance, along with patience and understanding, basically, which is difficult for us as well as for them also. I know that many of us autistics can be hard to work with, but in time, hopefully, if we come into agreement and everything else, we should be happy as Larry. In saying this though, when it comes down to any mistakes that has been made by me or anybody for that matter, we should be able to basically, be able to accept that and own it with authority that there was a problem. Also, this goes for the case of also when we're having a meltdown. Again, I'll clearly stress this out. Tears, never yell at us. Talk to us as you would like to talk to any normal adult or every other child that is or isn't autistic. When it comes down for me saying, oh, does something wrong, please let me know so that I can relearn or rewire my brain, hearsay, so that I can retrain myself for later in the future towards that behavioural attitude that was deemed inappropriate or unacceptable to you. Also, a key importance here is also maybe having some boundaries and rules put into place, which is good because obviously, even though some of us still struggle with the social norms, but if we ask yes, hopefully we can know what to do for next time for you guys. It's good to have someone that we can turn to and talk to that person and seek out advice, etc. as well. Like, what has happened, admitting there was a problem, owning that problem, straight up, yes, I messed up, I'm sorry, what can be done about it, why did it happen, how can I do this to stop it from happening again, and so on and so forth. So that we can accept it and hopefully move on from that mistake, even though many people think that, we should be knowing what we're doing, but sometimes it's also important to communicate here in this as well, I believe. We shouldn't have to hold grudges against each other either when something happens. Like I said before, if I just say or do anything wrong, never point the finger at me or seem to yell at me from across the room or shame me or criticize me, but just guide me gently in the right direction to make things better again between us, if we're trying to build up that foundation of trust and friendship. Because obviously many of us autistics finds it hard to socialize, and when it comes down to that socialization process, as I said before in one of my videos, it can be hard for us to build friendships along the way, along with keeping friends. Many of us tend to lose them along the way just because of the misunderstandings and misgivings. Sometimes I don't mean to come off rude or ignorant sometimes, if I'm like not conversing with you face to face, but I am now learning strategies right now how to converse with you guys, be it if I have to look above and beyond your eyes and whatnot, but I am still paying attention here. Also, in saying this, basically, I try my very hardest, whatever it may be, to actually express myself in a way in which I should be able to be myself like anyone, autistic or not, hearsay. I shouldn't have to be wearing a mask or camouflage myself to blend in or what have you in amongst the group I'm socializing with. But sometimes it does tend to happen with me masking. When it comes down to that masking stage, as I mentioned in one of my videos, I tend to, like most autistics, will mimic the tendencies of what's the right behavior, and how to talk, when to talk, and so on and so forth, which again, that will be listed in the description as well. And saying this also, basically, like, we shouldn't, as autistic, have a free pass for, doing what we're doing. We should be, treating each other the right way, if that makes sense to you guys, of anything that happens. It means basically for a free pass, what I'm saying is, just because you know, we think something's right and it's not right in your eyes, seems to just dismiss it or what have you. It's all about, as I said before, having the right formal methods and communication and plan of attack, how we go about it. And so this also basically, when it comes down to socializing, basically, you know, we need to be disciplined and taught about some social norms, etc., like many other people out there. Timing is important when it comes down to a point also. When I socialize that to someone, or what I say or do to upset or offend someone, so that we can resolve the matter quick, smart, so we can diffuse the situation so it doesn't get any further beyond fuel to the fire, if that makes sense. And saying this also, just to bear in mind though, like, for me, as I said, being socially shy and awkward, I shouldn't hurt anyone. I'm harmless, you know, even though, yes, I might talk and talk and talk and talk and talk once you get to know me. But then it's like anything, knowing the norms when to stop and let others in, per se. We should be also in a mood of accepting one another regardless for who and what we are, above and beyond autism and any other condition we may have. I am now learning to try and pick my battles wisely of what to, you know, do and pull away from anyone or anything that I can't handle, because obviously I can't handle too much stress all at once, even though many people think I'm running away or just hiding away from the problem at hand, but I'm not. It's just how I cope with this, and hopefully people can understand. Anyway, and saying this also, when socialization or socializing with my peers, before that is happening, I usually basically come up with some information to myself. I am worth more than my autism. I am worthy to be socialized. I am more to what it is to get through my day. And saying this also, I try to take some deep breath in and out, count 1 to 10, and visualize my surroundings in a way to take a step back if need be, hearsay. Sometimes socialization can take a toll on me, so therefore I might put a brave face on or a smile on my face, you know, throughout my day, imitating others, as I said before, masking it, you know, and what have you. While this is going on, I usually basically trying to say and fear that it may not come out wrong when I'm in masking. At the end of the day, after all the socializing is done and what have you, for me, as I head home to my safe little network, I rewind and try to reboot myself by trying to enjoy the things that I enjoy, be it baking, singing, dancing, or whatever, in my own time. Autistics are a part of a family life, as well as also if they had some friends, that is part of it too. So friendship and companionship is important for us autistics, as well as many other people in this point of time. So be sure to involve them, not exclude them, hearsay. Talk about the autism in a setting that is safe enough, that is free from judgment, and so much more, so that you can, again, as I said before, do a plan of attack when something happens, be it if we have a meltdown or just something has said and done wrong, and as I said earlier, just to question what went wrong, how we're going to fix it, and so on and so forth, so that we can learn from it all. Yes, we may not be perfect, but you've got to remember, when it comes down to talking about this, that we autistics are the focal point in the team. So communication doesn't have to be verbal. It can be basically non-verbal, or any form of communication that we use. Hearsay. Also have a plan attack when we are stressed or just need to be left alone. Also know when we need to be left alone, or know when we're stressed. Have some form of communication methods, as I said before, for some of the statistics that struggles to talk, maybe to use cue cards or some form of talking device that talks back at you so that you know. Like anything in life, we all learn by trial and error for everything we do in our lives. In this case, socializing. When I am in my own world, when I'm not socializing, I tend to feel safe and secure as a safety blanket around me, hearsay, just to let you guys know also as part of it. So this quickly wraps up a round of how do I prepare myself for socialization, even though there is a bit more of this, but I humbly apologize. If you enjoyed this, smash the like. Feel free to comment below how you guys go about socializing in your group and that, and if there's any tips and tricks that I've missed, feel free to add them in the comments below. Feel free to also follow me on my social medias as it comes up, or what have you, choice is yours. Feel free to also share these videos around. So in all for the do, guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.